Hello, this is Dr. Mike Jennings in Great Bend, Kansas. I've had a myriad of people who have requested me to explain nutrition to them. So I'm basically going to start with my knowledge base of nutrition, start with the basics, and work up there from there. So we're going to be making DVD copies of this and also be putting it on YouTube so we can send it to people via email. So whichever way you'd like to receive it, fine. And of course if you don't want to receive it, let me know after we've already sent it to you. But the purpose of this is there's so much misinformation about nutrition out there. I get people in all the time with different concepts and understandings and just knowledge base on nutrition, and there's two types of people. Ones that don't care, don't ask, don't tell, and the other ones, they care, they're trying to do something better for their health, but they're just doing the wrong thing and they've got the wrong information. So that's what the purpose of this is to share with you what I perceive to be as the truth about nutrition. And basically it's very simple. The nutrition you buy in the store is what's called synthetic nutrition. Synthetic means it was manufactured in a test tube from chemicals, okay? What we provide is whole food nutrition. Now the purpose of this video is just to get the difference between synthetic and whole food, and that's it. Because there's a humongous difference. Things that come from chemicals. An example is the vitamin C that's in the stores that you buy at one of the marts. The vitamin C you buy in the store is essentially they take corn syrup, they add sulfuric acid to it to convert it into ascorbic acid. And what that does, and then they package it in a pill because it's really cheap to make. How much does corn syrup cost? Nothing. So they take it and they put it in a pill and they package it and tell you you're getting what's called vitamin C. Now, the whole food complex, I actually have here, I don't know if you'll be able to see this, this top schematic here is a schematic of the vitamin C whole food complex. Ascorbic acid, what they sell in the store, which is the corn syrup, is basically this little bitty shell around the vitamin C complex. Now this is why this is important and why synthetic nutrition is so terrible for you. Your body will take the fractions of the nutrient, the synthetic chemicals, and use it to the best of its ability. But it can't process nutrition as a fraction of a vitamin. It has to use the whole thing as a complex. Okay, everything is a cascade of complex molecules all put together via nature, God, how it was in nature. Now, when you take a synthetic chemical, your body can take that ascorbic acid and it can actually use it, but it has to rob your body of all these other things. Bioflavonoids, tyrosinase, which is a copper. Every vitamin has a mineral activator at the center, just like hemoglobin has iron at the center of it. Then P factors, which are kind of anti-scurvy factors, anti-bleeding factors, K and J factors. Now, the purpose of this, showing you this, when you take that ascorbic acid, your body has to rob your tissue reserves of all these other nutrients to process it. Now, what that does is when you take a synthetic nutrient, it can't process it by itself, so it robs your tissue reserves of all these other factors, making you more nutritionally deficient than if you didn't take anything. This is why this is important. People take nutrition from the stores, they take nutrition that they buy online, they take nutrition that they see on an infomercial. Initially, it does give you energy, okay? Because your body can take that small fraction, rob your tissue reserves of all the other fractions that are there, all your reserves, and initially you feel better. You get more pep in your step. But after you deplete your tissue reserves of all these other factors, guess what happens? You crash, okay? You have no more reserves left. My nutrition used to work. I used to feel good with it. Now it's not working anymore. That's because you've just nutritionally depleted your tissues of everything that you had that you were able to bring to this point in your life. Now, the thing about this, it actually induces disease in the body, taking synthetic nutrition. Copper, okay? The center of just the vitamin C molecule, the whole food molecule, the center of it is copper. When you take a synthetic nutrient, which is the vitamin C from the store, which is corn syrup, which is ascorbic acid, which is just cheap, nothing, chemicals. Your body has to rob its own tissue reserves of copper. Where it robs that from is, one of the areas is your blood vessels. Your blood vessels in your arteries has copper in there to allow it for elasticity, for them to, the collagen formation of the arteries, for them to expand. When you chelate out, that's actually what that's doing, is chelating out copper out of your arteries. You actually will induce arterial sclerosis in your body. Okay? And I'm going to be sending some studies along that shows this, and I've actually got a whole bunch of stuff in here about the copper that's explaining that. So taking synthetic nutrition from the store will actually induce heart disease. Just the vitamin C. Okay? Now, taking synthetic B vitamins, for example. B vitamins, there's no such thing as a B1, or as far as in nature, there's no B1 plant, there's no B2 plant, B6, B12. All the B vitamins come in a complex together. They come in the form of liver. They come in the form of brewer's yeast, things like that. In the whole food form, every B vitamin is there together in nature, all together. When they synthetically make the B vitamin chemicals, they make it from coal. Coal tar dyes, they're called. Coal tar dyes are the waste products from the coal manufacturing that they can't even use, so they turn it into pills and sell it to us and tell us it's nutrition. And the kicker is, your body can take those B vitamins for a while. Those synthetic chemicals, they will give you energy because your body's robbing its tissue reserves of all the other B vitamins. One of the main nutrients of the heart and your cardiovascular system is the B4 vitamin. The B4 vitamin cannot be synthesized chemically in a test tube. They can't make it. They don't know how. It only shows up in the whole food natural form. Okay? I don't even like the term natural. Natural just means on earth. Okay? Organic means has carbon. It's kind of meaningless. It's whole food is the term you look for. So when you take a synthetic B vitamin, which are coal tar dyes, it robs your tissue reserves of all your tissue reserves of the other B vitamins that aren't in the Mega Man B complex. And initially, you feel better and you have energy, but in the long run, it's depleting your nutrient reserves of those other B vitamins, inducing heart disease, okay? Inducing blood sugar problems, inducing neuropathies, which is nerve degeneration and nerve issues. Synthetic B vitamins are terrible for you to take. And that's a lot of stuff they spray on food. Enriched bread, enriched, your total cereals and all this other stuff. Those are all synthetic vitamins. And when you take a synthetic vitamin, your urine turns yellow. Okay? The reason it turns yellow is because your body is trying to get that toxic chemical out of its system as quickly as possible. Okay? So that's one of the things you can tell when you take a whole food nutrient. If you take too much, then your body can handle it once. You'll pee out the rest. But if you're taking the proper dose, you will never see a change in color in your urine. Okay? And the point is, your body's trying to get rid of it because it's toxic, but even the part of it that it does use is depleting your body of its own nutrients, which will make you more nutritionally deficient, inducing more disease in your body than if you didn't take anything at all. This is important to get. Out of 10,000 people you would talk to in the planet right now, about 2 of them understand this, okay? Because I take my multivitamin. I'm healthy. I take my calcium, okay? Calcium that they sell in the store is called calcium carbonate. Calcium carbonate is essentially chalk. It's chalk that the teacher writes on the board with. And there's nothing wrong with the calcium. It's the fact that it's bonded to carbonate. Carbonate takes 12 enzyme conversions in order to cleave off the carbonate to ionize the calcium so it can go in your bloodstream, okay? No one's digestion is that strong. Okay, you can't even digest the calcium that you buy in the store. Okay, so people that are taking calcium from the store, there's nothing wrong with the calcium. It's the carbonate it's attached to. Standard Process, the company we use, which is the whole food company, is calcium lactate. It takes 1 enzyme conversion and it's in your system, ionizable. It's the highest ionizable form of calcium available. So that's just another example of why the stuff in the store is no good for you. Secondly, if you take too much calcium, minerals work like a teeter-totter. Okay, if you have a whole bunch of one, like calcium, 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 that'll shut down potassium levels, which causes more, again, heart disease. Shuts down nerve, not just shut down nerve functions, but it affects it, and also shuts down thyroid function. So taking calcium supplements from the store will actually shut down your thyroid. People don't know that. Now, the purpose is taking whole food nutrition rebuilds, regenerates, and nourishes your system. You can't make something out of nothing. You can't make a healthy body out of synthetic chemicals. You can't make something out of nothing. I got an old saying, I'll try and be nice. You can't make chicken salad out of chicken poop. Okay? You have to take something and turn it into something. When you give your body the proper nutrition that it needs to function, miracles happen. Because then it's got the blueprint to work with, the chemicals to work with, the nutrition to work with, and all cells in the body require nutrients to function. A lot of disease processes are simply because we live in America. We eat like crap. we don't get the nutrition from our food because it's all refined out of it, okay, for shelf life, okay? Shelf life means no nutrients. You know that spaghetti that sits on your counter? All the B vitamins, all the nutrients that are in that are milled out of that. We'll have a blood sugar video here soon, teach about that. But the purpose is, if the nutrition is not in the food, it's not in your body, okay? And since our farming techniques here in America, all we spray back on is anhydrous ammonia, okay? So we basically get nitrogen back in the system. You don't have all the other trace minerals and cofactors, and every little trace mineral is required for something in your body. And the whole food nutrition from Standard Process has that in it. The synthetic chemicals that you buy in the store doesn't have it. And if you aren't ingesting it, you can't just pull it out of thin air. You're not getting it. And when processes start to break down, as they will, they'll be like, well, you got this and this and this and this disease process and this, that, and the other. It doesn't, it's just because your body doesn't need, it doesn't have what it needs to make things function properly. I had a gal come in, good gosh, a few months ago. She had been on thyroid medication for 30 years. She's been on thyroid medication. I just put her on my basic thyroid nutrition that supports the thyroid, and within 2 months, all her blood values on the thyroid were perfectly normal, and she got off the medicine. Well, I didn't take her off of it. Her medical doctor took her off of it. And it's just because her thyroid did not have what it needed to make proper thyroid hormone, okay? And it's a lot of times that simple. So you can't make something out of nothing. And if you're putting nothing in your body and no nutrition in your body starts to break down and deteriorate, and things just don't function properly. It's that simple. And again, the purpose of this video is to explain synthetic versus whole food. Synthetic induces deficiencies in the body. It's that simple. It has to rob your tissue reserves of all the other factors that are present in order to process that synthetic chemical, and inducing disease in the body. Whole food nutrition is just the opposite. It protects, it nourishes, it regenerates and rebuilds, and your body is actually nourished versus stimulated. Synthetic nutrition stimulates your body. It's whipping a tired, dead horse to death, and eventually it crashes. Whole food nutrition rebuilds, regenerates, allows things to function properly the way it was designed by the Creator, and that's basically how it works. I'm going to be sending along these diagrams I showed you, and some explanations on how food is broken down in your body and how you can tell the difference between synthetic and natural and whole food, and some basics of what I explained about the B vitamins and the copper and so forth and so on. And again, just to reiterate, the basics of this first video: whole food versus synthetic. Synthetic chemicals deplete your body of its nutritional reserves. So if you're taking your nutrition from the store or you're buying over the internet, unless it's a whole food nutrient, whole food complex, you're actually making yourself more nutritionally deficient than if you didn't take anything at all, okay? And that's basically the gist of this first video. I hope this makes sense. We're going to be sending this out to everybody in my patient base. There will be questions. We're going to be sending another video here in a few weeks. And please call in with your questions, schedule an appointment. Those of you who are seeing this on YouTube, we're going to be, if you request a symptom survey from us, we'll mail you a symptom survey, which is basically a whole bunch of questions you ask about what symptoms you're having, and then we could probably gear a nutritional protocol towards you. Again, there's people that don't care, there's people that do care, they're trying to do the right thing, they're just taking the right stuff. So if you're one of those people that cares, and you care about your health, and you're trying to do the right thing, quit taking the synthetic nutrition from the store. Start taking whole food nutrition from Standard Process, and just notice the vast difference it makes in your body and health and overall life. So thanks for listening to this. I will be talking with you soon on another video.